Welcome to Gravitas Studios, Behind the Boarding Pass podcast. Trump's message isn't just about trade, it's a dominant signal. Trump is using tariffs as political leverage, not merely an economic tool. The warning is designed to force Canada into a binary choice: align with the US strategic perimeter or pay an extreme economic price. This is classic, credible threat diplomacy. Even if 100% tariffs are legally or practically difficult, the political goal is to make the risk feel immediate and non-negotiable. Strategic intent: make Canada's business community, provinces, exporters, and unions pressure Carney to back off China-related arrangements. The phrase drop-off port is deliberate framing, and it's effective. Drop-off port is emotionally loaded and strategically chosen. It implies Canada is acting as a smuggling corridor. Canada is helping China evade US controls. Canada is behaving like a proxy, not a sovereign partner. It turns a complex trade discussion into a simple story the public understands. They're using Canada to get to us. That framing plays well with US voters because it merges China anxiety, border insecurity, job protection, and punishment politics. The 100% tariff threat is political overkill, and that's the point. From a negotiating standpoint, 100% across-the-board tariffs are a sledgehammer. But overkill is part of the design. It maximizes fear. It reduces room for Canadian creative compliance. It forces Carney to publicly choose, which is politically costly. Trump is not bargaining for minor concessions. He's setting a red line so severe that Canada is expected to self-censor its future cooperation with China. Trump calling Carney governor is an intentional humiliation tactic. This is not a slip. It's a strategic insult that does three things: delegitimizes Carney as an equal actor, signals hierarchy, you answer to me, provokes nationalism in Canada, which Trump can then use as proof Canada is ungrateful. It's a trap either way. If Carney ignores it, he looks weak. If he responds strongly, Trump frames him as hostile. Either outcome increases friction. Carney's China outreach is economically rational, but politically explosive. From Canada's perspective, improving trade with China can be sold as export diversification, agricultural relief, and industrial growth. But in the current US political climate, China trade is no longer just economics. It's treated as strategic betrayal. So Carney is pursuing a middle power autonomy strategy. Don't depend on one superpower. Hedge between blocks. Carney's Davos speech was morally strong but strategically provocative. When Carney says the rules-based order is fading, he is telling the world US leadership is less reliable. But to Trump, it reads as Canada publicly scolding the US and positioning itself as a leader of an anti-Trump coalition. In strategist terms, Carney chose the high ground narrative, but it triggers the retaliation narrative. Who benefits politically? Trump benefits because he looks tough on China and turns foreign policy into a domestic culture war victory. Carney benefits because standing up to Trump fuels Canadian sovereignty politics, so both leaders can win domestically while the relationship deteriorates. The real fight is about supply chains and enforcement credibility. The US worry is not symbolic. Washington is trying to stop Chinese transshipment and origin washing. If Canada allows Chinese EVs to flood in cheaply, US strategists fear Canadian assembly becomes a launchpad into the US. Trump's threat is aimed at preventing Canada from becoming an economic free zone for Chinese goods. Bottom line strategic verdict: Trump's move is strategically coherent but diplomatically corrosive. The brutality of the threat is the mechanism. Carney's move is strategically ambitious but structurally constrained. If this continues, expect a cycle. Canada explores autonomy. US responds with coercive leverage. This is a contest over who sets Canada's strategic boundaries. Subscribe to Gravitas Studios, Behind the Boarding Pass podcast.